Hey, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be checking out this tour of an American house. This looks like a very high-class house. From what I heard, houses that look like this are probably very, very expensive. So, okay, let's just see. I know I may not be able to relate to it because I'll probably not be able to afford a house like this for a very long time in my life. So, but let's just see how it goes. Let's just see how an American standard house is.
So a lot of people have been asking me to do an update video on my house. My house is much the same, but I've been living here for about 9 months now. I've been working a bit on the garden, working on the lawn. One of my neighbours, when I first moved in here, commented on how bad my lawn was before I'd even got to know him. So I was...
No, that is not a British accent. That is an Australian accent. An Australian or New Zealand accent. It's not a British. That is not a British accent. Maybe Irish. I don't even know how Irish people sound.
All right, buddy. I'm going to take you on with the lawn. Hey, Tui. Come on, we're going to do a tour.
Why are they censoring that?
In the house. So in through the front door, I have a bowl of sweets for luring children in. I have a picture of my mum. Hey, mum.
Nice joke. Nice but dangerous joke. I have a bunch of sweets for luring children in. Like, guys, don't get me wrong. I'm fine with that joke. But from what I see, a lot of people online are so sensitive. That joke may not land on people's eyes or ears the same way it landed on mine. So, but that was funny.
So in through the front door, I have a bowl of sweets for luring children in. I have a picture of my mum. Hey, mum. If you remember when I first did a tour of my house, this room here I wasn't sure what I was going to do with. And subsequently you may have seen my video on my stereo equipment, but this room has turned into my favourite room in the house. This little tiny front room gets a lot of sun, and so I sort of did a lot of colours in here, and I put a sofa in here, and I put my record player, and I moved my speakers to the front like people on the internet had suggested that I do. And I like to sit on this sofa here and listen to my records. I just love this room. I put lots of little plants in here and lots of little toys. I've got this neat Nixie clock from...
What? This looks so unsecured to me. Look at that. Someone can just... I know you can lock that window, but it can easily be broken into. Seriously. Guys, in my own country, our houses, burglaries everywhere, on the windows, on the doors, like... I mean, then we still have gates. Here, you don't even have any gates. Your house is just like that, and the windows are not even protected with iron. This is like, I don't know. I know maybe first world country, so maybe you don't need it. But from what I've been seeing from the outside looking in, your countries are turning into third world countries now in terms of crime. So I'm not really sure living in houses like this is really, really safe to me. If I were to move to the US, it would take a very, very long time to feel safe, to be honest with you. One of my guys that is in the UK, he tells me the same thing. His house, just a door, no burglary, no nothing. That he doesn't feel safe, but he lives in a first world country, so hopefully he's going to be fine. That's what he says. But I used to tell him, do you see what is going on around you? He said, well, yeah, but here, you can call the police, and the police can show up, which is true. In my own country, if you're not a rich man that has a policeman's number that you can easily call, you're on your own. So I guess it's maybe in first world countries, you can easily call the police, dial 911, and police is there. Fine. But how long would the police take to come there? Well, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or 5 minutes at best. I mean, do you know what people can do in 5 minutes? Or do you know what can happen to you in just 5 minutes? So I don't really know, man. This just seems so insecure to me, in my opinion.
From Russia that I love. And photos of my family, all up here. My record player, more photos of my family. A Tui, and of course, my classic rock records that I love. Books and stuff, so forth. And of course, my rather phallic collection of cactus.
God, look at the windows.
Plants. So yeah, the front room, I just love what's happened with the front room. It was a real surprise how much it's changed and how much I love it. Moving down the hallway here, Another room that was blank when I toured last time was the formal dining room. Formal dining room now has seating for 6 or 8 and a few other bits and pieces, photos and pictures and so forth. I just got to find another 7 friends and we're all set for having a dinner party. I put in some new lighting as well. Further down the hall, the downstairs bathroom has remained unchanged. Kitchen is pretty much unchanged. My sister Becky and I are going to repaint these chairs soon so they match the blue of the other colours in this kitchen. But yeah, the kitchen is really one of the best features of this house. It's such a big, lovely kitchen to work in. I just love it. Well lit and it's just easy to use. Great appliances. Over here is yet another tui. It's a bit of a tui theme in this house. And my goldfish and other bits and pieces. Onto the living room. Not much has changed in the living room. A few other pictures and so forth have gone up. I've changed the carpets in here. I put a bean bag in here, which I thought was going to be for me, but it turns out it's for Tui. There's my gorillas. There's Albert and there's William.
Is that a fireplace? So definitely this looks like a house that will not be in any of the coastal areas. Okay, maybe in New York. We could need this in New York. I think New York can be cold at times, but definitely not in California. So maybe because the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because I'm just thinking of states that have plenty of crime that I used to see on the news. So I'm just thinking of, because I'm just like, I just can't live in this kind of house. First of all, it seems very isolated. He didn't really show the outside part of it, so I'm not really sure how many neighbors he has. But it seems so isolated, and you don't really have protection here. Your only hope is if you have a gun in your house or you call the police, which I don't know how long it will take the police to get there, except they have a patrol car in that neighborhood. Seriously, like, nah.
And into my office. The office, I've changed the desk in the office, so I much prefer this desk. It really works well in here, and yeah, I love using this office. Yeah, it's a quiet little room, and it's where I do all my YouTube videos for you fine people. Of course, there's my picture of my old 911. And I wanted to show you a couple of rooms that I didn't show you last time, but before we got into that, we'll go out to the backyard here. Once again, the backyard is a bit of a work in progress. It was just a big mud patch when I moved in, so really I've been focused on getting the lawn right. So I'm going to plant more trees as I go, but to that corner there I put some agriviteas to hide that ugly chain link fence of my neighbours, so they'll grow out. And up the back I put hydrangeas, so they'll get bigger and bushier and they'll sort of hide that back end a bit better. But yeah, it's a really lovely big backyard now, and Tui spends a lot of time out here chasing her ball, and yeah, I'm really pleased with it. So, oh, there's my neighbour's dog.
Look at that. That is the neighbour. Okay. That's another house. But I mean, look at this. No fence, no nothing. Man, I wonder how you guys live like this, though. I wonder how you live this way. So what is the thing separating you from your neighbors? Is that like a barbed wire separating you from your neighbors? This just seems so insecure. I mean, guys, I apologize if this seems I don't know, insulting, whatever, however you feel about it. But just coming from my perspective here, it just seems so unsecured for me. Like, I just can't live in a place like this. I would feel maybe it's just my third world country mentality speaking. But you could have told me that if I sit down in this country and I barely see crime in your country, but every day I turn on YouTube or TV, everywhere crime. So there's crime all over the place in your country as well. So it's not as if, like, if it's in a country that maybe let's say this was Japan. If this was Japan, I would be fine with it, because Japan generally don't really have that much crime. But that is not the case in the United States. So I will find it very, very hard living in a place like this.
So I put some rhododendrons here. They'll grow up and get nice and flowery. But yeah, it's oh, my dad bought me this barbecue when I moved in. That's cool. So yeah, a lovely backyard. I might extend this deck a little bit out this way, get some deck furniture. So that's my backyard. Into the garage. It was a bit of a mess last time I showed you, if I remember.
Wow, this
tidied it up a bit. I
big,
put some
though.
speed rail to put my tools along the wall there. Here's my Golf. Hey, Golf. And I put some of my tyres up on the wall. Those are the tyres for the Porsche, actually. These are the tyres down here for the BMW. They'll be sold when I sell the BMW. Say hi to the BMW. Hey, M4. What's going on, brother? But otherwise, yeah, no, I'm not crazy tidy garage guy. I'm not going to put a false floor or any of those crazy things that people do. It just has to be functional. So yeah, my garage is functional. Oh look, fireworks. You know what they're going to be strapped to. Hey Chewy, let's go, let's go. Let's go, doggy. Okay, so onto a room that I didn't show you last time, which is the basement. There's nothing been done in the basement, but I wanted to show it to you this time because it's one of the rooms that I want to work on. So down here, it's a pretty standard basement here in the US.
I don't know why Americans like having basements, though. I keep hearing that joke. If someone wants to be insulted, they'll say, who are you? Yeah. You are living in your mom's basement. That's like the first level insults in the United States. Like, you are living in your mom's basement. So it almost seems like every house has a basement. But what is the use of a basement, really? To me, the only thing I would look at if someone like me, if I were to, the only reason I think someone would have a basement is if, first of all, they're committing some horrific crimes, you know, like serial killer type of crimes, or they, for security reasons, maybe for example, you have some, what do they call, some invaders into your house and you just run into there, and maybe that basement has a false floor that people will not, and that they will not know that there's an opening there or something like that. That is the only thing I can look at it. I know, guys, sorry for just thinking about security all the time, but you have to understand where I'm coming from. I have to be security conscious like my whole life. Security conscious. There was a time when I wasn't security conscious. I was very, very young that time. I didn't really know the reality of the world. And to be honest with you, I escaped lots of, things that could have gone very, very wrongly by God's grace. So at that time, I just didn't understand the world. I just didn't understand how bad the world can be. So, but now, I'm basically like an FBI agent walking around the whole place.
Yes. And what people in the US tend to do with their basements is fill them with shit. And that's what I've done as well. But my basement is
so
huge.
Big. What the hell?
And it's very, it's got a very even climb.
Okay, this is not what I was thinking of. Basements are supposed to be small. This guy, it seems like his whole house, underground was turned into a basement. This is incredible, actually.
But it's always the same temperature with summer and winter, so I think it's going to be a great room to finish at some stage. It's just enormous. So it's got the plumbing for another bathroom down here. So I think I'll build another bathroom and just finish off the walls and so forth. There's companies that specially do up basements here in Connecticut, so that's what I do. And of course, this is where I just store a lot of my crap.
Connecticut.
I'm slowly.
Connecticut. That state, I don't know how to pronounce it for some reason. Connecticut. I'm trying to pronounce it like an American. I can pronounce it like a Nigerian, Connecticut. But like an American, like I can pronounce Florida, Texas, things like that. New York, Illinois, Michigan, Pennsylvania, that flows well, Connecticut. Oh, shit.
Especially do up basements here in Connecticut, so that's what I do. And of course, this is where I just store a lot of my crap that I am slowly putting on Craigslist and getting rid of. So yeah, the basement's interesting in that it's just so huge.
Is Craigslist still existing till today? I'm surprised by that.
It's so quiet and so kind of warm, sort of even temperature year round. So it's going to be a great room to do up at some point. So back upstairs. Upstairs, of course, are where the bedrooms and the other two bathrooms are. Not much has changed in my bedroom. I put up some extra pictures. Picture of New Zealand I put up, I took myself. Yeah, so just a few more photographs and pictures in here. Doing it big. My bathroom hasn't changed. It's all good. I've started decorating this yellow room. Put some pictures up, put a carpet in, that type of thing. I'm actually going to change the paint color in this bathroom. At the moment it's an apricot. I'm going to change it to a slate to make match the floor. I think that'll look better. But I'm pretty pleased with how this room's turned out. This is the blue room. I found some blue pictures, some blue chairs, blue carpets, blue everything. A little bit of IKEA furniture as well.
This looks neat, man. This guy has to be a very
over
rich
here
guy.
is Becky's room. Not much.
Okay, it's probably a successful YouTuber, so that should be enough to be a rich man, I guess.
Just changed in here. Just a few extra pictures and some extra furniture. Yeah, it's a nice quiet room, this one. And I have my my laundry in here. So this is the other room I wanted to show you guys. Is up here is my attic, and it's another room that's unfinished. And it's another huge area that is available to be finished in this house. And I think I might do this before the basement. It's just an enormous space, and it's pre-piped for air conditioning and so forth. It just needs to be finished off, the walls and edges and so forth. So yeah, I'll be excited to get this room done. I think this will add a lot of value to the house. So there you have it, quick update to my house, how things are coming along. I'll probably do another one in a year or so once my garden's a little bit more established. Comfortable? Yeah.
Wow. Outside of all my security concerns, that was a very, very beautiful house, and probably a very expensive house as well. But even though I've always felt as to, because I keep hearing Americans talking about getting a home is so expensive and all that kind of a thing, and I'll be wondering, how are they so expensive? It's just made of wood. And don't get me wrong, I don't know how expensive wood is in your country. So probably it's very, very expensive, but where I'm from, wood is still expensive, obviously, but like, it's the cement that is really expensive. So yeah, the cement and the concrete that you need, especially if it's like an upstairs, the one that has an upstairs, you have to do a decking with like basically like with concrete, with stone, cement, and sand. So like with rods as well, plenty rods. So I don't really know how it works in the US, like the decking. I don't know whether when you have an upstairs, do you see use wood for that? That seems very, I don't know, like how strong could the wood be? Anyway, that was very interesting. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I know I was just bitching about security, but you can't really blame me. Maybe crime is not as bad as it looks from the outside. You guys can tell me down in the comments. Maybe it's not as bad as that, but from what I see, and the fact that you especially in the West, I think the US even does better in that aspect, but some other Western countries, you barely punish criminals. Like, it almost seems like, I know the complaint is always about the fact that the prisons are overcrowded and all that kind of a thing, but man, I just don't, sometimes when I see it, I'm just like, this will just give people incentive to keep committing crimes, to be honest with you, because if you know that there is no consequence, or there's little to no consequence of what you do, why won't you continue doing it? So I don't know, maybe I keep hearing people trying to copy Scandinavian countries that they are very lenient to criminals, but they have no crime. I mean, look at Sweden these days. Look at Sweden. The point of the matter is, Scandinavian countries for the most part are not really multicultural, but now that are beginning to be multicultural, for example Sweden, look at the results. So the US is very, very multicultural, so it's not a homogeneous society. You can't expect to implement that same policy, and it will never, that kind of policy will never work in the US. It will never work. That policy of criminals basically going to live in 5-star hotels as a prison, it's never going to work, because I'm just telling you from like from where I come from, if I were a criminal and I go to a country like all these Scandinavian countries, I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven. If I was a criminal, I'm in heaven. Because I would rather be a criminal instead of being a law-abiding citizen in that situation. Because I can just look at it like, okay, I can commit this crime. Obviously, it has to be a crime that I benefit monetarily. And I can commit this crime. And if I am caught, I will get a slap on the wrist, which is maybe 3 years in some 5-star looking prison. Seriously, that's how. But I'm not a criminal, so that's good. But I'm just saying, if I was a criminal and I come from a very tough place, that's what I'm trying to say. You created these laws with your with the way your people were, and that worked. But when you import people from, I don't know the word to use yet, so that it won't sound bad. But when you import people from very rough areas, and they come there and they look at that kind of punishment for committing crime, they'll commit it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, I went on a tangent there, but I'm just like I just wish we could live in a world without criminals, to be honest with you. Like, if I were like a Batman or whatever, like, showing leniency to criminals just used to blow my mind, to be honest. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.